guys, we're here today. I guess we're all NASCAR fans, I'm hoping, yeah? Excited about racing at Atlanta Motor Speedway. I've got my buddy Gary Martin Hayes from Gary Martin Hayes and Associates up here on stage. And you know this guy, NASCAR's own Todd Gilliland. Give it up. All right. You want to sit? All right. Now, I've watched a lot of these interviews after the races or before, so we're going to do that. I'm just kidding. That's so boring. You can see that on TV all the time. So I thought what we would do is just talk to Todd about like real life stuff, because we all know the NASCAR stuff. I mean, you and I talked. There's a new surface on the track last year. You can talk a little about that if you want, and we can get that out of the way.
Yeah,
Atlanta.
Like we talked about, it's pretty much a completely different racetrack than it was 2 years ago. With the new pavement, kind of reconfigured it, added some banking. So the racing we see is completely different. We're in a pack style racing now. So really close racing. It's great to see as a fan, and really fun to do as a driver. So I'm looking forward to it.
All right. So one big question, I did ask him this earlier. You know, when we're standing down there on the fence and you're driving by at 200 miles an hour, you totally see me waving, hey, Todd, right?
I feel like you'd actually be surprised at how much you do see. I always tell Marissa that too. Like, I always see when she's on the pit box, or like I'm looking at all the other pit boxes and just.
Dude, what are you doing looking around?
Right?
You need to be looking straight ahead.
Maybe it'd be better if I actually kept my eyes on the road.
We're going to talk about distracted driving in a minute.
Do not distract him anymore. Y'all, this is his lovely bride, Marissa. It's her birthday today. So happy birthday. Well, Gary, you got any questions for this guy? Got any comments? Drive fast, turn left?
Well, I love the bathroom question, so let's go ahead and get that one out of the way.
I said on social media he couldn't ask that, but
yeah, I know that's the one everyone asks, and I mean, if you got to go to the bathroom, you're stuck in there, right? You're not getting out. So majority of the time, you sweat it out faster than you can take in water, so that's not an issue. But I've heard stories of guys just going.
Yeah, well, you got to do what you got to do.
I've never done that.
So the bigger question is, like you said, you drove in from Charlotte, right? Did you take a bathroom stop between here and Charlotte?
We did. We not based off my stopping, but
Okay.
I'd rather just go.
Blame
the
it
whole
on
way.
Marissa. I know this is what happens, right?
No, it was a long drive, and we're ready to stretch our legs a little bit and get out of there. So
Well, and I would imagine the adrenaline rush is a little different between, well, I don't know, driving through Atlanta traffic, it's probably the same, right? But
yeah, you guys, that was me earlier. I had to cross 6 lanes of stop traffic, so I had to be aggressive like we're on the racetrack out there.
do you ever, I mean, I know Kyle Busch has gotten tickets before. Have you ever gotten speeding tickets?
I've gotten a couple, but not nothing too bad. So
You had the right to remain silent.
Yes,
right.
yes.
I encourage you to do
Oh,
that.
yeah, we've got a lawyer here in case you need
true.
it, okay?
I hadn't gotten any tickets, and I got like 2 within 1 week.
Oh, no.
But since then, I haven't gotten any. So I'm
It's
So-
called profiling, and that's wrong.
Well, you need to stop driving the car that says number 38 Gary Martin Hayes down I-40. Okay, so I see we've got some girls here. You guys like racing? Yeah? No? All right, I got to tell you a funny story about this guy. So I heard that when you first started driving at the age of 3, you were driving a pink Barbie car.
Yeah, that's what I hear.
Is that true?
I don't remember it because I was, like you said, I was 3 years old, but there's pictures of it, and I guess it was pink. I made my dad spray paint it black. And,
Sure.
And then we added an extra battery to make it go even faster. So, but yeah, I don't know how we got stuck with that or how that even happened, because I have a younger sister who's probably not even born yet. So,
Yeah.
Maybe I just ruined her future.
Probably at
car,
some yard sale or something.
Yeah,
and,
exactly.
But your dad, you are a third generation driver, right?
Yep. So I grew up going to the racetrack. I think went to my first race when I was 2 weeks old in Southern California. So yeah, just really grew up around it, and really cool to watch my dad race in the Cup Series for all those years, and now to be racing for the same team that he drove for the majority of his Cup career is really cool.
So we're seeing that a lot now. Like a lot of the guys out there on the track are second or third generation drivers. Do you share stories? Did you guys grow up together?
Yeah, so I would say probably my best friend at the racetrack is Harrison Burton, who a second, maybe third generation also. So I don't really know why that is. I guess just we have relationships in racing, but really just growing up around it and developing that love for it. But yeah, we've pretty much grown up together, racing scooters around the racetrack, all that stuff.
Yeah.
So it's been a lot of fun, like, to rethink about all those things, especially last year when we were rookies together in the Cup Series. So really cool that it's happened this way, but that's part of it. Growing up around it, you definitely develop a love for it.
So does your dad critique your driving?
I think he does, definitely behind maybe behind my back even a little bit.
Oh,
He doesn't
okay.
tell me as much directly to my face, so he like eases me into it. I feel like I would take pretty good criticism from
Yeah.
him though, because I
Well-
feel like he knows partially of what he's doing.
I mean, he was kind of a big deal out there on the track, so he may know. He's driven a
know.
few miles.
Right? I'm sure I was probably hard on him growing up too. So maybe
Sure.
I should rethink that. Maybe
Well, you
maybe
know.
that's why he can be hard on me. We'll see.
He's your dad. That's why he can be
Yeah.
hard on you.
That
So,
is
Gary, tell me how you guys got involved with the car.
Had an opportunity to sponsor the car, and when I found out it was Todd, I knew he'd won at every level before, and I know he's going to be a winner in the series. So I jumped at the opportunity.
That's so awesome. Has he let you drive the car yet?
He hasn't. We need to talk. But I am going to be, and a lot of people don't know this, in Sunday's race, you do get a navigator. So I get to be the navigator in case
Sold on
he
that.
gets lost.
He's going to be more of like backseat driver, I would say.
I think
Like,
I think
even though we don't
weight
have a
might be an
backseat.
issue. Not that you weigh a lot. It's just a whole extra body in there.
go
it's gonna
left,
Be, it's
go
going to be a
left,
lot.
go
It's going to be a lot.
left.
All right. I was just looking through. We were talking NASCAR a little, or I mean, not NASCAR. Of course, we're talking NASCAR now. We were talking country music. Who's your favorite country artist right now?
Yeah, right now I'd have to go with Morgan Wallen. I
Who?
think he's
No.
pretty. Yeah, right. I don't know if anyone's heard of him. So, but no, it was cool. We went to a concert last year, and I was hooked from the first song on. So it was really cool.
Have you? Do you have a favorite on the new album? Have you had a chance to listen to it? There's 36 songs, so
I know.
you
I
could
like 'em
actually
all.
pop it in during the race and probably
Dude,
go front to
36,
back.
That is true. I don't know if I've listened to all of them, but last night.
Yeah.
I don't know. I keep forgetting the name of the one after.
Well,
like
it's hard to
Everything I've
remember
Loved,
the
or Everything I
yeah.
Love, something
Oh,
like
that's
that.
my
So,
favorite.
yeah,
Yeah,
I
because
like
it's
that
got
one a
that
lot.
like Marshall Tucker band and all those shout outs to the old. Because you seem to be an old soul when it comes to country music.
I guess, yeah. I work out a lot with Ricky Stenhouse. He's another a driver, and he's got me hooked on like George Strait and just
Right.
random stuff I never thought I'd ever listen to. So it's
The keeper right here.
That's
I endorse
It's an
him now. That
interesting one.
you said George Strait. You got my heart now. So Gary, this weekend at the track, anything we need to be aware of with you guys?
Well, one thing that I want to get everybody to take from this, there are lessons that we can learn from NASCAR that we need to employ on the highway. First is speeding. You guys go, 200 miles per hour?
yeah, just about.
We can't do that on our highway, though people try. So please don't do it. If you're speeding, it increases the risk of you being involved in a wreck 3 times, triples the chance. Every day in the U.S., 30 people die because of speeding-related accidents. Next thing is don't text and drive, because you don't do it, right? On the road, at the racetrack?
No, definitely not.
You're not taking a selfie, right?
No selfies yet.
All right, we can't do that either. Just reaching for an object within the car increases the likelihood of you being involved in a wreck 800%. And every day there are 8 lives lost because of distracted driving. And finally, you guys change your tires at least, 12 times on average per race?
Yep, depends.
That cost them over $20,000. We're not making tire changes that often, but we all need to be aware of the amount of tire tread we have on our tire and that's properly inflated. And that's the other thing. If I'm not navigating, I'm going to be in the pit crew changing tires.
I can see you doing
See
that.
that? Yeah.
Yeah. What's the fastest? What's an average pit stop going these days?
Yeah, so now we're in NASCAR. We have a single lug nut, so that's knocked a couple seconds off to about 10 seconds.
Yeah.
There's some guys knocking out some 9-second pit stops, which is impressive.
So last year was your rookie season in the Cup Series, right?
Yep.
Okay. So you come into the Cup Series and we've got a new car.
Yeah, it's very, there's, I guess positives and negatives coming in last year. I think we're looking at a lot of the positives as, everyone's going to be learning the car at the same time as far as the drivers. And that's one thing that's tough about the Cup Series is some of the guys have been there for 20 years. So it's hard to catch up to that level. But, with the next gen car, that was a good opportunity to hop in there and try it out. Some of the downside is the teams were learning. So there's some weekends we'd go to the racetrack and just not have any idea really if it was our best guess of what was in the car. And sometimes that wasn't that good. So just lots of work to do, but it's been really cool. I think this year is going to be a lot of fun going back to some places now that we have a notebook on it and we can have more confidence going to the racetrack.
All right. Any good luck charms or superstitions you've got?
Not yet. I always tell people you don't need to get in the zone when you stay in the zone. So that's me.
Gonna get a
try to.
T-shirt.
But maybe I'm just never in the zone. I don't know. So we're just figuring it out as we go.
That's so funny. So, Gary, are we going to see you at the track walking around?
I am going to be there.
All right.
And I can't wait for Sunday to be in Victory Lane, being doused with the champagne.
Yeah,
Right next
no
to him.
pressure.
It's going to be awesome. No pressure at all. Yeah. And I'd like to know, and it's just between us, we can't let the secret out of here, but what's the secret to winning on Sunday?
Well, since we're in a pack, it's going to be about missing all the wrecks. And I think a lot of people overlook it here at Atlanta because they think of it as a super speedway type where handling doesn't matter. It's a lot about handling. You still have to have a car that drives really good and a car that can be full throttle the most. I think that's going to be the most important thing so you can lead up front.
And there's an expression, rubbings racing. To the other drivers, if they come anywhere near him, I'm suing. Okay, so we got to keep them away.
We're going to clip this and put it on social media so everyone knows.
So, have any of you guys done the NASCAR experience at Atlanta Motor Speedway? Okay. Did you drive or did you ride?
Oh, no, I drove.
Okay. 167. You
Oh, he's got
win.
you
That's
beat.
fantastic.
Oh.
You beat me, which is not hard to do, but
300 RPM lower than the guy that was pacing.
woo. All right. Well, then I'm going to ask you this and ask you. So what I found scary and fascinating at the same time was the G's when you're going around those turns. You feel like that car is going to hit the wall. Stop showing off. I felt like the car was going to hit the wall. It wasn't, though, and that was what the spotter in my head kept telling me. He goes, trust the car. It's going to stick, and you're going to be okay. But while you're driving around, I only did 154. But it was like, oh, my God, oh, my God, oh, my God. And then I'd come out of it and be like, whew. I can't imagine doing that for 4 hours.
Yeah, you take a deep breath just to do it again in 1 second right before you get to the next turn.
Is it stressful for you, or are you just used to it now?
I mean, it's both. I feel like I'm used to it a little bit, but it is still stressful because, like you said, you have to trust the car until you don't, right? And then you're spun out or in a wreck somewhere.
Did you get a trophy or anything for going that fast? Did you frame it? Well, you're too old. Push. We'll fix that. We'll figure it out. You need to go to Daytona. So, any last parting words here? Because he's got to go shopping. It's Marissa's birthday, and I got her back. So,
no, just I'm really excited. Thank you guys for coming out here. It's I think you guys are all going to go to the race. So
I think so.
That's a lot of fun.
Everybody. Okay, yes, I was going to ask questions. All right, let me ask that again for the camera because they can't hear. Have you raced a sprint car? Have you raced with Ricky? And what was the third one? Would you?
Yeah. Yeah. So I haven't raced one yet, but I've gone to like 4 or 5 sprint car races with him last year, and it's amazing. I would love to. I have a lot of respect for just all sorts of different racing, IndyCar, F1, sprint cars, dirt racing in general. So that's hopefully in the future when I'm done NASCAR racing, I can go sprint car racing, and I keep bugging him to let me go test one. So I think eventually that'll happen. We'll see.
Any other questions?
Oh gosh, thank you. Yeah.
So her question was about penalties because they have been dishing those out like they're candy these days, and not a good kind of candy.
Yeah, so that's the hard part as a driver. I think Denny Hamlin's one is I guess more on the driver's side, and that's about making the right decisions. But I mean we've seen those guys have run-ins in the past, right? So eventually you have to, I guess, take a stand at some point. But getting a fine for it, kind of admitting it, talking it is a kind of a different thing. I was kind of surprised actually to see NASCAR penalize him. But as far as the Hendrick penalties, I feel like that's the team's job, right? Is to bring the fastest car possible every single week. That's NASCAR, I guess, not to cheat necessarily, but push the limits as much as possible. And we've seen some really big fines with the next gen car. Front Row had a big one last year. Same thing, 100 points, $100,000. So it's that's part of racing. You got to push the envelope, and sometimes you go too far. Yeah, so that's kind of out of the driver's hands. That's at least what you want to think, right? Sometimes you know some of the stuff that's going on behind the scenes, but no, I mean, it's not ultimately our decision of what's going on. We just want the fastest car possible.
That is a very good question. How do you
Yes.
get out of a burning car? Hopefully you don't have to.
Yeah, well, that's just always a scary situation for sure. Just because you're strapped in there, you're not hoping to move, right? So I have 9-point seat belts and all that stuff. So you just have to undo the seat belts. I have an air hose that goes in my helmet. You have to take that off. My radio's plugged in. Take down the window net and hop out. So there's also a roof hatch that we can go out of that is straight above our head. And then just this year recently, they've made us practice going out of the right side. So there's actually
wow.
kind of 3 different ways to get out,
Yeah.
but majority of the time, you're just going to hop out of the window as quickly as possible.
So if that does happen, have you been in a serious wreck like that?
Not anything with fires.
Okay.
So thankful for that.
But like, what goes through your mind? Like, are you? Because I would be like freaking out as to how to get out. You know, like your brain, you just fight or flight. But is there one like eject button with that seatbelt? Because you're right, it's a lot of different points.
Yeah, so that's the hard part. It's not. It's
Jeez.
I mean, that's why you have to just have a checklist. And we do it. We get in and out so much
Yeah.
that it's kind of second nature of what to do. But in a fire, like we have a fire extinguisher inside, but everyone says it's like the last thing you would think about is actually doing that because you're just worried on getting out.
Yeah.
So
I can
smoke
imagine.
fills up really quick, so it's hard to see. And then you just kind of go through everything and hop out. A lot of stuff will come with you, but the seatbelts you got to
Right.
take off for sure
Right.
and hop out then.
All right. I saw a little hand up here. Hello. How fast do you go? Do you know
Yeah.
your fastest speed?
I don't know the fastest speed. I would say it's close to 200 at a place like Atlanta or Talladega, Daytona. I would say the majority of the racetracks, it's high 190s, 190-ish. So it depends on the racetrack.
Is that your mom right there? So, your mommy usually drives like the fastest she gets because you would never break any speed limits is 75. So that's like 2 times faster or more than what you normally drive. So that's really fast. Very, very fast. Any more questions? Yes, dear. Is racing your only job?
Yes, it is. So, our schedule is tough. Mondays is kind of our day off, and then Tuesdays we go to the shop and talk with our team. Wednesdays I'm at the shop also. Thursday we go to the simulator, which is like practicing for the next weekend. And we usually head to the racetrack on Friday until Sunday. So we don't have a whole lot of time to do other stuff. And growing up, I've always wanted to be a race car driver. So that's pretty much the only thing I've worked towards. Yeah, he always tells me it's maybe not the most cool thing out there, but
A little bit of pressure.
right? No, I would definitely love to. I think it's really cool what he's done, and they've got a lot of trucks this year, 5 of them. He actually drove a hauler down and stayed with us last night. So
That's awesome.
we're a really close family. I always love going over there, checking out the shop and all that. But I think
Oh, that's awesome.
for sure, yeah. But no, I think it's cool. I'd love to.
If you crash, how do you keep safe if you crash? Is that the question? If other people crash.
Yeah, so it's dangerous. Car accidents you can get hurt really easily, and we take it for granted because there's not many injuries in our sport because we wear a helmet, fire suit, gloves, shoes. There's really no part of our skin that's exposed in case there's a fire or something like that. But still hitting a wall hard is like hitting another car. It's something you never want to do, but luckily there's lots of foam around our head, and we have a Bell helmet. It's the same company as a bicycle helmet, and all those things to keep us safe.
In the summertime, when you're running one of those July races and it is so hot, how do you train your body to get like in a headspace where you can just handle it? Because just wearing the gear is hot, and then you're stuck in that car that I don't think you have AC in there, right?
Well, yeah, so we kind of do, but it's not like normal AC. It's just one little air hose that pulls air from the front windshield, and it kind of filters it, so there's no carbon monoxide,
Right.
all that stuff, and then goes straight to our helmet. So it's cooled off a little bit, but there's only so much you can do,
Right.
right? It's like 140 degrees inside the car, and that's why you're usually losing more sweat than taking.
Yeah. All right, Marissa, I'm going to put you on the spot for a second. What's he like after a race? Is he crabby and you just leave him alone and you don't talk to him for a little while? Yeah.
Depends on the weekend.
Oh yeah.
She's asked me everything I did wrong.
She's
so-
from a NASCAR family too, so she can be the wife going, "What were you thinking? You clearly didn't have a line of sight there, but you just took off." Yeah. I don't know. Sometimes they can take the constructive criticism from their wife
Yeah, I like it.
because you
No big
can't. He
deal.
can't get rid of you. I mean, he can, but it cost him a lot. So right.
Yeah, I have a question. How do you stay hydrated? Do you take a big gulp and put it in the car and you're sipping that throughout?
So
That's your job this Sunday.
yeah, you can just hand me my water bottle. But no, it's like a bicycle water bottle. It's really nothing fancy. It's really a water bottle that we switch out on every pit stop. And a lot of guys just drink, Gatorade, whatever. I just drink ice and water and chug it whenever I get a chance, and then throw it out on our next pit stop.
So I just want to tell you to please, and I'm going to play this back because we're recording it. Don't ever change. You're so nice. He's so nice, right? Yes, I got one more question here. A couple of more questions, I guess. Oh my goodness, you guys are good. Yes. If a race car went on top of another race car, no, I can answer that. They would not automatically brake.
Yeah, but so actually, it's funny. We actually were in a Mr. Beast video from Daytona this year. So I don't know if that's out yet or anything, but that'll be cool to look out for. And but no, the cars sometimes flip over. We had one last year, and they're made to hit other stuff. So flipping over is not actually the worst thing possible for them.
In the car that gets hit, they need to call me.
Right. Can he do that? Can he go, Gary, Kyle Busch hit me. I'd like to press some charges. Do you just stop? Wouldn't that
I've
be
got
funny
it.
if like, oh, you rear-ended me. Call Gary Martin Hayes right now.
Right. But it's funny when you think about it. Like, we wreck a car and don't think twice about it, but obviously you'd never get into a
I
wreck,
know.
like,
I
paying
know.
attention
Well,
in real life.
sheet metal is really good for us, and we're doing charity auctions. So,
There you go.
all right, we'll do these last two. What's your question? Per season, how much does one of those cars cost? We should call your dad.
Yeah, right. That's not something I completely know. I don't know. It's expensive though. I was thinking about it. We get probably 20-ish hotel rooms per weekend for our team to come in. They fly. We all fly together down and back from a racetrack, and we've been racing on the West Coast, so there's long flights, lots of fuel in our trucks, getting back and forth, lots of tires. So it's expensive.
So yeah, because Mr. Gary talked earlier about how the tires cost $20,000 a race, right? Close to it. Do you have to pay that, like even if you don't use them, or can you take them to the next track, or
No,
can you
so
put them in the
that's,
back of the hauler? And
That's what our general manager always tells
Yeah.
us is, because we always have to buy the amount of tires that you're allowed, just
Right.
in case there's lots of cautions and you need to use them. But majority of the weeks there's not. You don't use the full allotment, so those ones just kind of go to waste. And Goodyear, it's all good.
all right. One more question. How many races do you do in a month?
Yeah, so we race every single weekend. So four weekends a month. We're racing every month. So our season goes from February to the first week of November. We have one off weekend in the middle of it. So we race 36 to 38 times a year.
Do you, Marissa? Do you go with him to all the races at this point? Yeah. Yeah. It's awesome. That's really the only time you'd see each other, right? Because you're just so busy when you get home, I'm sure. So, any pictures? You guys want pictures? We can do that when we go out here. We'll stand in front of our Dunkin NASCAR Lounge. I've renamed
That's
it.
right.
It's normally, and big thank you to Gary Martin
thank
Hayes
you.
and Associates over
Thank
here.
y'all.
Gary is definitely, if you guys ever have any legal issues, Gary is such a sweet, wonderful, honest guy. I highly recommend him.
Thank you so much.
so-
And make sure you get a hero card too.
Yeah, definitely.
This guy is our hero. I tell you, it's an honor to have him drive the car. Outstanding driver, but as you said, an outstanding person. That's
Yes.
what really makes
Yes.
it. Thank you.
Thank
Todd
you.
Gilliland, everybody. Good luck Sunday. Drive fast.
Yep, that's
Okay.
the plan. Thank you.